Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cronkite News Watch on AZTV. I'm John LaBarbera. An Arizona rancher is killed, and now an Arizona senator is calling for some troops. As of right now, the cause of the West Virginia explosion still has not been determined. 4 miners are still not accounted for. And as for safety, the mine went through a regular inspection earlier this year. It's been a historic day in the White House as President Barack Obama signed the health care reform bill. The bill is strongly opposed by Republicans in both the House and the Senate. A big victory for Obama and the Democrats, as this is the largest expansion of federal health care the United States has seen in almost 40 years. The Republican convention may bring the city some much needed cash, and so will that 1-cent sales tax if voters give it a green light. But not everyone's on board. Our Jenna Lee Thomas takes us into the fight. And talk about Senate Bill 1070 is buzzing all around Washington, while former Arizona Governor Janet Napolitano assured the Senate Judiciary Committee that she's made a lot of progress in securing the border. Attorney General Eric Holder said today that the feds might challenge the bill, fearing it might lend itself to abuse. Arizona's 2 state senators are speaking out about border security this week. John McCain and John Kyle have released their 10-point immigration plan. Some of these points include sending 3,000 National Guard troops to help secure the border. The plan would increase funding for local law enforcement agencies to help fight immigrant and drug smuggling. The senators also want people caught crossing the border illegally more than once to serve longer jail sentences. This 10-point push comes after a southern rancher was murdered by a suspected illegal immigrant. Some are saying the race for the Senate could be one of the most interesting races of the year. Although he's been Arizona's senator for decades, John McCain may be facing his toughest re-election bid yet. And with this volcano affecting air travel around the world, there's some email scammers who are trying to make a quick buck off the situation. Cronkite News reporter Maxine Park has more on what you should watch out for. Their crimes range from petty theft to first-degree felonies. We're talking about some 300 boys at the Adobe Mountain Juvenile Corrections Facility. Reporter Brian McBride got to take a rare look inside the prison, where the young offenders had a very special visitor. Stop the budget from bleeding. That's the goal of state lawmakers as they meet again today to try to agree on a budget to send to the governor. But this battle is one that's claiming a lot of victims. We have team coverage of the budget battle with reporter Lindsay Reiser covering the House Appropriations meeting and reporter Heather Turner spending the day in the Senate. More changes are on the table for light rail. Some proposals include longer wait times and cutting late night service. Light rail frequency would be reduced from running every 10 minutes to every 12 minutes. Service on both weekdays and weekends would be shortened. And in all, Valley Metro hopes to save nearly $2 million a year. The first of 2 public hearings will be tonight from 6 to 8 at the Metro Light Rail Boardroom in Phoenix. Safety from wildfires is on the minds of firefighters. It's getting windy outside and temperatures are rising as fire season approaches. Making up 11% of the employment in Arizona, a good portion of the state's economy rests on the shoulders of the restaurant industry. Just a few weeks ago, we were talking about guns in bars.
Now it's carrying concealed weapons without a permit.
Reporter Christy Post went out to a shooting range to see how a new law could have people packing without permit restrictions. Traveling from Phoenix to Los Angeles or Las Vegas may get a lot easier. Today, new plans were unveiled that could help make high-speed trains a reality in Arizona and not just a dream. Tonight, a closer look at security at Luke Air Force Base after officers open fire and kill a man when a car barrels through the main gate. Natalie Podgorski is tracking the story and joins us live tonight with more. Natalie. Investigations are still underway, and as racers left the Firebird International Raceway Monday, the haunting images of this were still on their minds. The Top Fuel dragster lost a tire, sending it crashing into the stands. Sadly, a woman was hit by the tire and had to be airlifted to Good Samaritan Hospital, where she later died. Officials are not saying much at this point, but spectators from the event are still shaken up. One of the reasons spring training makes its home in Arizona is because the weather is usually close to perfect this time of year. But of course, we've all experienced the rain hitting the valley in recent weeks. Cronkite News reporter Gina Mizell shows us how this wet weather has put a damper on one of the state's most popular springtime traditions. And how about little Winter Olympics right here in the valley? Not to mention a little snow. Cronkite News reporter Heather Turner went to ASU's Tempe campus, where students competed for a title at the Campus Rail Jam Tour. I don't know why they brought all that snow down. They could have just gone sandboarding. And I'm John LaBarbera. Arrests at the state capitol as protesters chain themselves to buildings, all in a stand against that tough illegal immigration bill. Veto 1070. These are the words seen on signs and spoken by protesters this morning at the state capitol. People against the newest immigration bill were invited to peacefully pray and rally to persuade Governor Brewer from making it law.
Demand that the governor make the right decision for all of us, the tens of thousands of us across the country and here in Arizona that say that this must be stopped, and it must be stopped now.
What was supposed to be a peaceful event escalated just moments before beginning when protesters decided to chain themselves to the Capitol.
Arizona is ground zero for the attacks against our community.
Whether arrested or sitting stoically and proud, these protesters felt strongly that expression is one right they would use in hopes of fighting for the rights of others.
Nonviolent civil disobedience is within the law, and it is our right to express.
And police could only do so much to calm the crowd.
Back up.
Governor Brewer has 5 days to either veto the bill or do nothing, making Senate Bill 1070 law. That's right, we all love going to the movies. Aside from the sticky floors and sometimes loud patrons, it provides quite a unique experience. But when prices for 3D movies go up, as they're expected to tomorrow, will the audience stick around?
You are human. Your people were getting too intelligent. We could not wait until you were strong enough to attack us. We had to attack you first.
Chances are you've never heard of Robot Monster 3D, but it was one of the first films of its kind. And in 1953, it would cost you just 54 cents to see it.
Checking on people smaller than you are.
Now I will kill you.
In 2010, 3D movies are having their renaissance.
Run! Definitely run!
With Avatar, Alice in Wonderland, and the upcoming Toy Story 3 creating tons of buzz for the medium. Now, AMC Theaters plans to capitalize on that popularity. Starting tomorrow, ticket prices for 3D movies will rise by as much as 26%. But not everyone's ready to cough up $20 just to see a movie in 3D.
Probably not. I think that's an excessive expense for entertainment.
If you have a family of 4, $20 a ticket, you know, that's a lot of money for a family to do just to see something in 3D. So, no, I think that's too much.
Some, though, feel the cash could be worth the experience.
Sometimes once-in-a-lifetime things or things you don't do a lot, so paying a premium to do something like that, I definitely would.
These raising ticket prices could have resulted from the recent resurgence of moviegoers, up 5.5% since last year, and ticket sales were up 10%, the highest level since 2004. John LaBarbera, Cronkite News. Well, Lindsay, as you know, Arizona is in a mess of debt right now, somewhere in the ballpark of $5.5 billion. Governor Brewer has a tax hike on the table for the May ballot, but today, Treasurer Dean Martin presented his idea. While downtown Phoenix is going through something of a social renaissance, the Valley's original party town seems to be fading. With the crime rate in Mesa at an almost 50-year low, what are the people's expectations for this new chief? Starting February 22nd, voters will have a 2-week window in which to decide what services to cut, and that includes the orbit. And thank you for joining Cronkite News Watch this morning. Now it's time for the McMahon Group on AZTV. I'm John LaBarbera. Have a great day.